What's up guys? So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my updated guide on the best beginner high ground retakes or simple high ground retakes in Fortnite Chapter 4. I'll keep this intro nice and short for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel and you want to see more content just like this in the future. And of course, if you want to use code Teckoh in the item shop, it's 100% free for you and it's seriously appreciated. Thank you so much to everyone who uses it. But with that said, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty guys, so here we are for the first retake of this video, and I'm going to be starting off with a super simple retake that almost anybody should be able to learn relatively quickly. So starting off this retake, we're going to want to be in like a scissor ramp formation just like this. If you don't know what this is, it's basically just a ramp above you and a ramp below you. So starting off this retake, all we're going to do is go up to a position like this where there's one right here and one in front of you. And what we're going to do is we're going to place a cone, and you can also place a floor below it if you want to. From here, what we're going to be doing is just a regular side jump onto a floor. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to kind of maneuver around this way, and you're just going to jump, place a floor below you. Now from here, once you have this floor placed, what you're going to do is you're just going to look straight down and basically just ramp below you and above you, just like that. And then once you build up a layer or two, you can do anything you want to regain height. So I like to do like protected 90s or something like that. Let's say you do the retake just like this. You can also do something like just regular 90s. You can do a 180, and you can basically do whatever else you might want to do. Ultimately though, the main part of the retake that we're looking at is just this part with the side jump. So this is kind of difficult to get down at first, but once you get down the timing of it and once you get down the positioning of it, it's actually really easy to do, and it's a super useful retake for beginners. So real quick, I'm just going to show you guys what this looks like in full speed. So as you guys can see, that's a super simple retake. It works really well and it's absolutely perfect for a beginner. It shouldn't really take you guys too long to learn it. It's super effective and really just helps you get height pretty quickly while still staying protected. So with that in mind, guys, that's going to be it for our first retake. So getting into our second retake here, and we have another relatively easy one. I'd say this one's definitely more difficult than the first retake, but it should be very helpful nonetheless. So starting off this retake, we're going to be in a similar position to last time with the scissor ramp going on right here. This is something you should get used to. It's pretty much the start of every retake simply because it's covered from above and below. So getting into the retake, what you're going to want to do is just like last time, you're going to want to place a floor in the cone just like this. And immediately what you're going to want to do is just edit the right side of both of them. You can also do the left, but for the sake of the example, I'm just going to show you the right. Now from here, what you're going to do is you're going to grab your ramp and you're going to branch off from this. So you're going to place a ramp right here and then one ramp forward just like that, facing the same direction. And from there, you're simply going to want to jump forward and place a floor and then a ramp to catch you. From here, you simply want to edit through the ramp and do one more jump, kind of like we did down there. Basically what you're going to do is right off of this ramp, once you edit, you're just going to do the same exact motion, ramp, floor, ramp. And then from here, just like last time, you can do literally whatever you want. You can do some 90s, you can do a 180, you can even go straight into another retake if you want to. And ultimately from here, you just do whatever you want to do. Overall, guys, I would say that's a little bit more technically difficult than the first retake, but it still is a pretty comfortable one. So I recommend you guys definitely give this one a shot. With that in mind, I'll go ahead and show you guys the full speed on screen. With that said, getting into retake number 3 here, and this one is going to be slightly more difficult than the second one. At least in my opinion, you guys might like this a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure. But basically, the way you're going to want to start this is obviously going to be with the scissor ramp. And from here, what you're going to want to do is something called a Thwifo cone. If you don't know, a Thwifo cone was popularized by the content creator Thwifo back in Chapter 1, and it's still a super useful move. All you need to do for a Thwifo cone is simply wrap walls around you and place a cone above just like that. So before you do this retake, I definitely recommend that you just spend some time doing this motion over and over again. You can do it to both sides just like that. You can even do it like entirely like that if you want to do that, but that's pretty much unnecessary. Unless you're like tunneling up in a scrim endgame, I really don't see any situation where you would need to do the entire thing. But overall, either direction you want to do it, just like that, basically just wrap walls around and place the cone above. And what this does is it actually gets 2 layers up. So you can see if I look from the side, you're all the way down there, but your cone's up here. So let's say I'm your opponent, I'm trying to run up on you and there's a cone in my way, so I have to basically maneuver around that. So it makes it very difficult for your opponent to keep height in some situations. So with that in mind, once you have the Thwifo cone down, this retake is super simple. All you have to do is throw a Thwifo cone in either direction, and from there you're simply going to branch out just like ramp, floor, ramp. Then after that you're going to edit through, and you can do whatever you want after this, 90s, 180s, or whatever you would like to do, maybe even go into another retake. Overall, guys, that's simply a 2-move sequence that works really well. Personally, this is one of my favorite retakes for beginners because it has 2 of the absolute fundamental moves that you're going to know for basically any retake you do. Obviously those are going to be the Thwifo cone just like that, and I think a lot of people call this the phase sway jump because he was the first one to popularize it. Basically the ramp, floor, ramp, and edit through. If you're watching phase sway do it, it's probably going to look something more like this, like where he's turning it into a 90 or something like that, but the same move applies in so many different situations. Overall though, those 2 moves are super useful and I definitely recommend knowing those, and since this retake combines them both, I find it to be really useful for beginners. So with that in mind, I'll go ahead and show you guys the retake in full speed. Alrighty guys, so getting into our fourth and final retake for this video, and for this one, believe it or not, we're gonna start on a scissor ramp again. So with that in mind, once you get to the same situation as the other retakes with one ramp in front of you, one right behind you, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to place a wall in front of you, one to your side, one above on the side, and then one straight in front up above. And then you're gonna want to place a ramp on top to finish it off. So basically what you want to do is just get this in one fluid motion just like that. Once you get the hang of it, it should be super easy to do that. From here guys, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to place a cone above, and then you're gonna want to place a cone out to the open side. Now from here, we're gonna be jumping out to this open side, so what you want to do is simply catch yourself with a wall and then place a ramp against that wall. So from here, we're almost done. Basically, you have a few different options. So if you're more of a beginner, what I recommend you do is simply edit through here as you reach the top. And what you want to do is right as you edit, you want to place a floor below you and out to the side just like this. You can continue going out to this side. And basically from here, you can do whatever you want. Now with that in mind, if you're a little bit more advanced, you can do something along these lines. Instead of going up and editing through like that, what you could maybe do instead, if you're a little bit more advanced, is go out like this and then actually place a wall above to the side and then do an elevated side jump. So that's basically a side jump where you land on top of the ramp instead of just on the floor. Technically, you can still do it with the floor as well. That's totally fine if you're a bit more of a beginner. But I do really like to do the elevated side jump because you keep a ton of momentum and you basically get a layer above. And then from there, obviously, you can continue with your 90s, 180 or whatever you want to do. But really, guys, once you get to this point in the retake, it's pretty much fair game. I even like the idea that you just edit straight through here, place walls like that, and basically turn it into a 90. You can do that as well. Obviously, some of these variations are getting a lot more advanced than the beginner retakes that we're talking about, but once you do reach a certain level and you want to kind of add a little bit more to these retakes, that's definitely a fair idea. With that in mind, I'll go ahead and show you guys in full speed just the basic variation of this retake, since that's the one I imagine most of you guys are going to do. Overall, though, that's definitely one of my favorite retakes in the game. Honestly, there's no particular reason I love this exact retake so much, but honestly, it's just, I enjoy it a lot, and I personally enjoy doing it. Even as a relatively advanced player, I'd like to think, I still enjoy using that retake, and you'll still find me using it quite often. But with that in mind, guys, that's going to wrap it up for retake number 4. And one more thing, guys, I want to give you guys a quick tip before we finish up this video. So obviously, if you're a total beginner player and you're not familiar with retakes at all, some of these retakes may still be pretty difficult for you. So what I want to urge you guys to do is, if you're struggling to do the retake in full speed, if you can't just like rock up and like immediately do the whole retake just as I would, then what I would recommend you guys do is just slowly break it into steps and do them one at a time and just do them slowly. So for example, if I take that retake number 4 that we just went over, I'll just do my scissor ramp, and you just want to take it nice and slow. So you'll just wrap your walls around just like this. You'll place your cones above, just like in kind of this motion. You want to just get used to it and basically just start slow and speed up as you go along. I know this seems like a relatively simple tip in terms of your practice, but I really find that this helps a lot and that a lot of people don't do this for some reason. So with that in mind, guys, I just wanted to give you that quick tip just in case you're struggling with it. But with that said, that's going to wrap it up for our retakes, guys. With all that said, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully these retakes help you guys out, and let me know down in the comments if you guys know any other retakes you want me to show in future videos and just what you guys want to see next on the channel. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.